Good afternoon. Welcome to the John Gaunt podcast, broadcast, whatever you want to call it. Wow, have I got a good show for you today. Plenty to talk about. Starmer, he has to go. He has to resign. Do you agree with me? What about Peter Mandelson? The scandal around that just gets worse and worse and worse. I'm going to be talking about Peter Kyle this morning. He was sent out to defend it. He couldn't. Camilla Tominay on GB News destroyed him. In fact, it was the best piece of political interviewing I've seen in a long time. Then, of course, we've got Epstein. And then, on top of that, we got Tommy's London protest. And whatever they want to spin it, however they want to spin it, I've got criticisms of Tommy Robinson, but there isn't another politician in this country, and that's what he is now, another person who could get a crowd like that, apart from Nigel Farage, of course. What a power they would be if they joined together. It wasn't far right, but what's happened today is Starmer's crawled out from under his chair. You may not have heard this if you've been watching the football or if you've been out and about. He's come out now and he's condemned the violence on the protest. Well, we all condemn the violence. 26 arrests out of hundreds of thousands of people. Let's not get this carried away. And there's many allegations that the police were the root cause of that because they kettled people in the wrong area. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'll explain that later. I did watch quite a bit of it on TV yesterday. It's got to be said. But they are running scared because people went there, and most people who went there were not even Tommy fans. They went to say, can't say Tommy without thinking of Pinball Wizard. Anyway, getting back to this, they went there because they're fed up. They're pissed off with the government. It was a protest about Starmer and the rest of the Muppets in government, and it was phenomenal. But today he's crawled out from under his stone and he's saying, look, I'm proud of our flag, but I'm not going to let anyone use our flag to be divisive. What's he on about? That's not what they were doing at all. That's why I've put up this slide behind me with Tommy and Anta, the SAS, basically saying, unite the nation, unite the kingdom. And he just looks gormless. He is gormless. He's finished. It looks like he's made the fundamental mistake of lying in Parliament. I'm going to go through this with you because it is a little bit difficult to get your head sorted out on this one. I just want to say as well, I had a great comment came in even before I started tonight. Don't forget, if you want to comment, you just tap something out on the bottom of the screen. The government minister, it's from Magpie, this. Have a listen to this. He's got it bang on the money. The government minister on the TV rounds this morning was backing up claims Starmer only found out on Thursday. Yeah, I'm going to go through this timeline with you in a moment. It's absolute bullshit, let me tell you. But anyway, but this is the same minister, says Magpie 1972 on YouTube, who put Farage with Jim will fix it. It stinks to high heaven. Yeah, it was Peter Kyle. He's just got that job. He came out and he said, oh, yeah. But before we start talking about Mandelson being with a known paedophile, a convicted paedophile, what about Farage? A few weeks ago, he said about the Online Safety Act, and he accused Nigel Farage of basically saying that if this were a few years ago, Farage would be in the same camp as Savile. Do you remember? It was a terrible, disgusting, filthy smear. But how thick is this government? How tone-deaf is Starmer? How fucking clueless is he? He puts out Peter Kyle today. Magpie, thanks for reminding me about this. But how thick are they that they put him out on the news round? Perhaps nobody else would do it because Kyle was sent out to defend the indefensible. I'm going to go through this with you now. Please comment at the bottom. If you're liking what I'm saying, press like. But let me make it clear. We are at the end of Starmer. I don't know how he's going to get away with this when Parliament goes back next week. It's a good job there's no Prime Minister's questions. The calls, people are already calling. And don't forget, I was the first one to say this, that he wouldn't survive. He's going to go. Mandelson is going to bring him down with him, if you understand what I mean. And that's before we get on to the rest of the chaos and the debacle. And then yesterday, we saw a popular movement of Ja people, as my hero Bob Marley with this. I've not even had a glass of wine yet. Didn't even have a drink last night. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah. That Bob Marley would sing. It is a movement of the people, without the shadow of a doubt. It amazed me how many people were there. And they said, oh, there's 100. Now the BBC are saying 150,000. The BBC had a face like a smacked ass. They didn't know what to say this morning. I watched their political program. They were lost, completely lost. And then all the lefties on Twitter are going on and on about it, trying to find an excuse for it. Listen, he attracted, I reckon, I'm only guessing, well over 1 million. There was well over 1 million people there. That bridge, I used to walk over there every summer's day, walking to talk sport when I worked there years ago. It's a massive bridge, goes over the Thames, and you couldn't move on it yesterday. So they're trying to say Tommy didn't do as well as he did, regardless of whether you liked him. I thought parts of it were useless yesterday, to be honest. You know, Liam Tough, when he starts doing his tough act, it's not necessary, mate. You got a microphone. Just slow it down. Get some media training. But at least it was genuine. And what we've seen today is back to nonsense, back to bullshit. The very thing that people were protesting about yesterday. People want authenticity. They want people who put our flag first, put our country first, put our people first. Starmer's only response to this is to tell us once again what he thinks the flag's all about. I've got it on my phone here. It's something about the flag's about diversity and it's about that. Well, it may well be, but that isn't what the flag was set up for. The flag is the British flag, and then the flag of St. George is the English flag. And I noticed the Scottish flag was there. The Northern Irish, even the Irish Republican flag was there. People are proud. I've said this so many times. If you're English, you want to be English. That's why the EU would never work. If you're a Spanish person, you want to be a Spaniard and you want to get behind your flag. That's why you need borders. But clowns, useless, clueless clots like Starmer doesn't understand that. That's why he's doing nothing about Dover. He's got to go. But I'm going to tell you why he's going to go in a minute. This is what he said. You may have missed this. This only came out an hour ago. We will never surrender our flag, says Keir Starmer. Britain will not surrender its flag. This is on the BBC, so bear that in mind. To those who wish to use it as a symbol of violence, fear and division. I didn't see any of that yesterday. I saw patriots waving the flag. I saw young children. I saw pensioners. I saw old people. I saw veterans. At last feeling they can wrap themselves in the flag. There's a bit on Twitter today where down on the embankment there's like little tents set away. You can get food stalls. And somebody's taken a picture of a guy. He's got the Union Jack round his shoulders and he's buying some pakora or tikka or something like that, Indian snack food. And they're going, oh, yeah, look at the yobber. Basically saying, if you're proud of being British, you can't eat Indian food. It makes you a hypocrite. And all the lefties have latched onto this. They've retweeted it loads. But surely, if they're eating Indian street food, it just proves they believe in the multiracial country that we are. I don't get that at all. That somehow this is hypocrisy. Most people on that demo yesterday, they might like roast beef, but we've moved on a bit from there, haven't we? Huh? Britain's most popular meal is a chicken tikka masala. I just thought the leftists, they were clutching at straws because the people have spoken. And Tommy's right. He'll get millions next time. Anyway, the Prime Minister, let's go back. The Prime Minister, well, he is today, said the flag represents our diverse country and he will not allow people to feel intimidated on our streets because of their background or the colour of their skin. Has there been lots of complaints then? There were racist attacks. I haven't seen that. I know some policemen have got hurt, and I totally condemn that. No one should be using violence on these things. But I did see some mistakes by the police as well. I am not condoning violence. I'm against it completely. Just like I said about the savage killing. And I can't believe the way the lefties are celebrating that as well. I just cannot believe it. A man was shot in cold blood with his children and his wife watching. You disgust me. But anyway, he's going on. What else did he say? He says, and here's the BBC. His comments come after more than 150,000 people took to the streets of central London. If there was only 150,000 there, then I'm a fucking Dutchman. I tell you, I am. Where's my clogs? What was it up to? It was called Unite the Kingdom, which I thought was a great title, organised by far-right activist Tommy Robinson, and about 5,000 took part in a counter-protest coordinated by Stand Up to Racism. They were the ones kicking off. Well, how come they've all got perfect protest boards, all identical, all look like they're from the SWP? It's organised. It's organised anarchy, if you see the paradox in what I'm saying. So he goes on to say, we will not stand for assaults on police officers doing their job or for people feeling intimidated on our streets because of their background or the colour of their skin. None of it. None of that yesterday was about people being black, blue, yellow, gay, transgender. None of it was criticised. None of it. I watched most of it. It wasn't. Absolute bollocks. Peter Kyle, who's on this morning, we'll come on to him in a moment, on Laura Kunsberg, he says, there are figures such as Tommy Robinson that are able to touch into a sense of disquiet, you can say that again, mate, and a grievance in the community in our society. So he accepts that Tommy motivated these people. The small minority who had committed violence would be held accountable, he told the programme. And they should be. They should be. He also then slagged off Elon Musk, who basically supported Tommy. Blah, 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 blah. But what they're trying to twist it now is that there was loads of trouble. We saw it with our own eyes. This is George Orwell. There was no real trouble. Yes, some policemen got hurt and policewomen. Yes, some people have lost some teeth. But 26, even out of 150,000, is a very small minority. The majority of people were very peaceful. And if it was 1 million, which I say it's got to have been at least 1 million, you couldn't get anywhere near where the stage was. On every level, despite people hating Tommy Robinson, and I'm not one of his biggest supporters, I've criticised him in the past, as you know. Yesterday was a massive success for him and a massive success for people power. And I congratulate him. What about you? Right, let's get to the programme then. That was just a warm-up. There's a chaos at the heart of Starmer's so-called government of change. That's what he called it. 5 ministers gone in just weeks. 5! 7 if you count a couple of no marks. Explosive emails this week have shown that Peter Mandelson called the I've got to make sure you understand this. The convicted child sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein, my best pal, in an email. He said, and he was trying and he was lobbying to get him early release. This man who had abused young girls, raped young girls, Epstein. No question about it. That's what he did. Mandelson thought it was all right to try and get him a shorter sentence, get him released early, and also remained friends with him. But it's all blown up now because you'll remember. Oh, well, let's go through it chronologically. Bloomberg blew the whistle Monday. By Wednesday, Starmer was defending Mandelson in Parliament at PMQs, right? He said he had full confidence in him, etc., etc., etc. By Thursday, though, Starmer was forced to sack him as the full truth dropped. But the question is this. Did Starmer mislead MPs? Downing Street is denying that, but the timeline stinks. Now, the reason they're denying it is if they can prove, or if anyone can prove, he deliberately misled Parliament, Starmer has to go. Now, we all know he's a grade 1 bullshitter and he's lied ever since he got into office. We don't know for a fact yet whether he lied in this particular instance, but let me tell you what happened. So, The Foreign Office got these emails. These have all come from this birthday book and the rest of the disclosures, and there's more to come. To be fair to Peter Mandelson, he did say there's going to be more embarrassing stuff to come out, not just the yum yum. What was yum yum about? Thank you for my presents, yum yum. What was Epstein supplying him with? Maybe it was bounty bars. I don't know, but it's weird, isn't it? Isn't that strange? Anyway, Starmer defended him. Basically said it was all a smear. They did not. Now, the Foreign Office got these. They had the full emails, right? We are meant to believe that they didn't go, oh, fucking hell, have you seen this? And get straight on the blower. They got them Wednesday morning. PMQs is at 12:30, isn't it? Or 11:30. The story is Starmer didn't know all the facts. He personally hadn't read them. Remember, he used to be the Director of Public Prosecutions, but Jimmy Savile never came across his desk. But he's an experienced prosecutor. He's the Prime Minister. So somebody in one of the departments rings him up and says, we got these emails about your mate Mandelson. We did tell you not to use him as the US ambassador. Would Starmer not have said, send them to me now, bike them round here immediately? Because he must have known he was going to get asked about this. And let's be fair to Kemi Badenoch, she destroyed him then at Prime Minister's Questions. Just like today, Camilla, whatever her name is, Tomini, destroyed Peter Kyle. Peter Kyle had to defend the indefensible today. They are trying to say to us, the great British public, there's nothing to see here. That what actually happened was, when he got home that night, he saw the rest of the emails, right? And actually saw how bad it was. And then realised he'd been misled by Mandelson. Now, come on. If that was so, why did he appoint him in the first place? Because it's already come out earlier this week that the Secret Services, Donald Trump, and everybody was telling him, don't give Mandelson that job. Don't forget he's been sacked by Blair and Brown twice. Why did Starmer do that? He put himself into this position. But now we're meant to believe he didn't read these to the evening. And then we're meant, according to Peter Kyle, we're meant to then applaud your leader, your supreme leader, because once he had realised the full nature of them by reading them all, he immediately sacked Mandelson. Now, if you believe that, I've got a bridge in London that I want to sell to you. Or I've got some magic beans. What is that smell? Correct. Absolute bullshit. And we'll see. Maybe I'll get sued. You're going to have to pay my defense case. But that doesn't add up to me. Does it add up to you? So the big question, and this is and it's going to dominate this week, even though President Trump is coming. Did Starmer mislead MPs and therefore mislead you and I? Downing Street is denying it, but I think the timeline stinks. And then, just to make things really nice for Starmer, 150,000 people took to the streets, according to the BBC. I think you can times that by 10 or maybe 20, led by Tommy Robinson, Stephen Yaxley Lennon, as they always like to say. I'll just get some more tits out anyway. Starmer's only response to that today was a lecture about the flag and effectively branding the demo far right. He hasn't learnt anything since Southport over a year ago. Anybody who objects to what he's doing, you're far right, you're racist, you're fascist. It's nonsense. And especially now, in the light of that dreadful murder, right, in America, we've got to tone down the rhetoric a bit, tone the heat down. But no, Starmer's still there, poking away, and branding his own people far right. Don't forget, this is the man who believes that illegal criminals, illegal migrants have got more rights than you and I. He'll look after them first, because that's another story that's about to burst open. Do you know now they're going to put them in student accommodation next to your kids? Your kids worked hard to go to university. They're going to be in a block probably with a load of illegal criminal migrants, or they're going to be in houses of multiple occupation. Ever got the feeling you've been cheated, as Johnny Rotten said all those years ago? We are being completely ignored. So no wonder people on the streets of London. So poll ratings collapsed. Promises of change is in tatters. And political tone deafness is on full display. It is time for change, real change, as he said during the election. And that means he should resign, or somehow he's got to be removed. Even his own party is saying it now. The man is an idiot, a complete and utter tool. Forget about being a toolmaker's son. The guy is a tool. Are you with me or are you against me? Press that like button if you like what I'm saying. 45 of you already. Thank you very much indeed. If you'd like to donate to keep these things going, or even to pay for my defense fund when I end up in prison, just go, I'm joking, go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. That monologue there was nearly 20 minutes long. That deserves a fiver of anybody's money. Also, I do want to congratulate Camilla Tomini again. She was on fire this morning, and it's great to see political interviewing like that. I'd watched Laura Kunsberg, which is like being tickled by a feather. It's like the Monty Python. Oh, no, not the feathers. Oh, no, not the soft cushions. Yeah, you need somebody like her. She's a Rottweiler. And she was brilliant. I sent her a thing saying it, and she started following me on Twitter, which is really nice, and on Facebook. But I thought she was brilliant. And credit where credit's due, don't you think? You should watch her program. She's on a Sunday about 9:30. Cracking. Now, where was I up to? Oh, and if you don't want to donate that way, donate just by pressing that $ underneath the video, and you can donate as much or as little as you want. All right, let's go. Lily Cat Albury. I went yesterday, John. It was fantastic. You are a disgrace, Lily. Are you a far-right racist? Do you follow Tommy Robinson? Were you there daring to say that you love our country? I'm pulling your leg, but you know what I mean. Rosseth22. This is a very good comment. He says, Starmer never learns. He doesn't, mate. He's politically tone deaf. He's just, I don't know. I was going to say something else then, but I don't want to upset other people who might genuinely be. Anyway, you know what I'm getting at. I can't believe him. Starmer is an anchor. Is that the word? Well, no, I think it's wanker is what everyone's been singing. Jackie Ward, on the march yesterday, my friend got kettled in and the police prevented them from going forward. She has it on video and the police wonder why people get angry. I think what happened, Jackie, this is why the 150,000 claim is absolute bullshit, right? Everyone was surprised by how many people actually went, myself included. I thought it would be a good turnout, but not like that. And going over that bridge, is it Waterloo Bridge? And then when you look down Whitehall, you couldn't move. It was got to be over 1 million. But they can't admit that. But they're caught, you see, Jackie, because I think your friend, a lot of other people on the telly said, well, we were coming over the bridge, and they told us to go back. And they also reckon, I was listening to that reporter on GB News, the Doogie. Well, he's a good reporter as well. He knows about Ireland because he's an Northern Irish reporter. So he's been there all through the Troubles. He said there were coppers from all over the place who had come to help out the Met. And they didn't quite know the geography of London. So he thinks there may have been a mistake. They sent people the wrong way. And they sent them within meters, of Tommy's supporters. Oh, no, sorry, the counter-protesters. And so that's why maybe it was beginning to kick off. I don't know. I wasn't there. But it was one unholy mess. But the BBC, they can't go above 150. They were saying tens of thousands. Obviously, overnight, their editorial people said, you've got to tell the truth. Well, the BBC truth. You better say it's 150. So now everyone's saying, oh, yeah, it's 150. The thing I don't understand, I remember going to the football years ago, and they used to send light aircraft over the grounds, didn't they? Because you know it was all cash. Obviously, all the clubs were fiddling the capacity. But now it's all done electronically. So they must know exactly how. It can't be beyond the wit and wisdom. We got surveillance ever to make a better guess than 150. It was more than 150,000, in my opinion. And that's where it all went wrong. But for the grace of God, we may have had a major disaster on our hands. I think Tommy Stewart's obviously did a good job as well. Over to you. I've seen online that they were purposely led towards the opposition, says Denise Deacon on Facebook. That's what I was referring to, Denise. Maybe a mistake, though. And the police were wearing riot gear, but not for the other side. No, I saw that, and I saw that being reported on GB News. Dougie actually showed people. He said, look, they're the coppers who are looking after the lefties. He didn't call them lefties, but that's what they were. They're looking after them, and here's the coppers looking after Tommy's lot, and they're all like tooled up. They're Robocop, right? But on previous demonstrations, just like the protests outside the migrant hotels, it's not been the mums and the concerned British citizens who've kicked off, is it? It's been the Antifa yobbos masked up with the only thing that they've got that's clear and transparent are those signs that obviously the socialist workers supply them with. Right or wrong? It was to purposely agitate for a reaction. Well, I don't know about that, Denise. You might be going a bit far, but I thank you for your comments. Evening, Sir Gaunt, says Jake Morton Brown, one of my oldest listeners on Facebook. The man has needed to go since last July. He's been that constipated. Oh, you mean Starmer? Yeah. It is almost an embarrassment. Oh, you're an embarrassment. I love a good political debate with my mates, but right now I would describe it as offering my sympathies if they're a Labour supporter. Absolutely right. He's got to go. If he had a pair, he'd resign. But as we know, he hasn't got a pair. Obviously not. Warwick Milne. He's just Corbyn in a sharp suit, paid for by somebody else. Utterly clueless. Warwick, I've met Jeremy Corbyn a few times. A friend of mine was his solicitor. Jeremy Corbyn is more... I'm looking for the right word. Honourable's not quite the word. But at least you know where you stand with him. You know what he is. You do know what he is. You don't know what Starmer is. Well, I know something beginning with W, ended in ER. I know you think that, and I think the same. But you don't know what his political beliefs are, do you? You don't. You don't. That's the problem with Starmer. He didn't have a plan. No plan whatsoever. Rosseth22. The BBC are lying about the numbers. He says it's over 3 million. Well, I don't know if it was over 3 million. I certainly think it was about 1 million at least. Had to be. I worked in London for 30 years. There must have been nearly 1 million on that bridge. At one point, I thought the bridge would bloody collapse unless they slow down how many people are getting there. Let me hear from some of my London cabbie mates. They'll tell me. Because they'll know. They'll just know. Brilliant. Thank you, says Mary Brennan. What for? What are you thanking me for, love? But thank you. If you want to thank me, really, send me a fiver. www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Lilycat Aubrey, you're a right little revolutionary today, darling. It felt like a revolution, Gaunty, she says. I actually felt proud to be British. And she's put some more flags there. I can see that. I regretted not going. I've got, how would I describe it? A family issue at the moment, which meant in the end I couldn't go. I don't want to go any further than that. It's nothing. It's not me and Lisa. It's somebody else. But it meant I couldn't go yesterday. But anyway, so that's a pressure of its own. But it's just something separate. 54 people have pressed the like button. Best ever. Thank you very much indeed. Over 220 odd people listening or watching now on YouTube. Don't forget, if you're listening on a podcast, the pre-record or whatever, great. Why don't you subscribe? It's free. Why don't you join John Gaunt TV on YouTube, and then you can see all my archive. All my podcasts are there. All the videos are there. The lot. And it's completely free. And then you also get told, when I suddenly decide I want to do one today or whatever, you know about it. Because I don't do them every Sunday. I normally just do Monday to Thursday. So much to talk about at the moment. I'm going to be doing extras, so I don't want you to miss them. All you do is go to YouTube, John Gaunt TV. You'll find it. And it comes up straight away, the subscribe button. Do you want to subscribe? Just press yes. No money involved, I promise you. It's free to be a subscriber. If you want to become a member, that's something different. That's 99p or something a month. You can do that there. Or you can donate on buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt, or press the little button down here. Let's see if we get one today. Here he is. I knew you'd be there, Cliff. Cliff Dixon. I was there yesterday, John. Parliament Square and Whitehall were full. So the police blocked Westminster Bridge and diverted the rest of the march straight into the SUTR demo. What's the SUTR demo? What's that one? Don't know. I suppose the lefties. I will wager that most of those 25 were the left who started throwing missiles as soon as the Patriots approached. The police then kettled people back in a mini crush, and they wonder why things got heated. Cliff, it doesn't matter who started it. The bottom line is, and I know some people are going to tell me off for saying this, 26 injuries is a spit, isn't it? Don't get me wrong. If it was your dad, my dad, our sisters, our daughters, our brothers, whatever, who did get injured yesterday, we wouldn't be happy. I don't want to see coppers get injured ever, right? I don't, right? I used to represent them. But it's minuscule when you compare it to the people. It's a bit like Notting Hill Carnival. You know, everybody, it seemed to me that a lot of people on the right, I mean, I love the Notting Hill Carnival. I love Caribbean culture. I do think there's a conversation to be had about whether it should be moved to one of the parks. However, there's something about it being in Notting Hill where the first generation, you know, the Windward generation, there's something about that, even though all those houses now are owned by knobs. But what you forget is you've got all those working class housing estates around it as well, haven't you? So Notting Hill isn't just full of people wanting to be Hugh Grant. But there was hardly any trouble there this year. And on Tommy's previous couple of last demos, there's been no trouble either in relative terms to the amount of people. So I just think, the government are spinning it and they're using their propaganda arm, the BBC, to do it. Tell them, yeah, say 150,000, then no one can say we're lying, or as much. But it was clearly well over 1 million. Just want to say a big thank you to everyone for staying peaceful yesterday. You looked beautiful, says Musical Man. Well done, Tommy. Great day yesterday. Get Keir Trader out now and get Advanced UK in. Dream on. There's no way. I saw Ben Habib, and I like the chap. I've interviewed him, but I saw him on stage. It's not going to happen. We've got to, basically, your best bet at the moment is Farage, and then move from there. But let's get Starmer out. That was the funny thing today as well. They're all talking about Andy Burnham. Oh, yeah, he'll be the next leader. Just a small matter that he's got to get elected. Oh, yeah, but they'll give him a safe seat. I would humbly suggest there are no safe seats for the Labour Party at the moment. None whatsoever. Anyway, so it goes on to David Edwards, who disagrees with me, which is fine. He's on YouTube. He says, don't vote for the folding Farage. He's not the man. He's as bad as the rest. Well, that's just crap, isn't it, David? You can not like him, and you can say maybe he's folded on certain things. You can say all those things, but you cannot say he's as bad as the rest. Take that back. That's just not right. It's just not right. Evening, John. You know, is he as bad, for example? No, he's just not, is he? He's not. It's just unfair. And that's the kind of generalization bullshit politics we don't want. Evening, John. Starmer's time has been up for a while now. But after all this, surely time is now for him to stand down. But who's next? As Farage can't take over for at least another 3 years. So where do we go? Why can't he take over? No, what will happen is they'll have a succession of leaders ending up with a lettuce, like I said the other day. And then what? Who knows? They'll be just totally discredited. And then, you know, because you've got to look back there and think, why did Rishi Sunak suddenly go to the country? Was it because he knew you couldn't solve the small boat crisis? But you see, there is a way of solving that. You just rip up the ECHR on live telly, you put the troops on the beach, put the Navy in the channel, and you send everyone straight back. And if they got rid of their documents, Stelios, chocks away. You send it some godforsaken fucking country where they don't want to go to be processed. I see that tomorrow. Have you seen that as well? The flights to France start tomorrow. They're going to start returning people tomorrow. We'll see how many get on the plane. We'll see how many human rights leeches and lawyers try and stop that. And why are we flying them back? They got here in a dinghy. Can't they go back in a boat? Not a dinghy, but you know what I mean. Joseph Parry just says prick. I hope you're not talking about me. Denise Deacon on Facebook says Diane Abbott leading the anti-racism protesters. You couldn't make it up. The woman has been kicked out twice for racism. Nice one. I like it. Polish Prime Minister said there were 3 million at Tommy's festival yesterday. God is love and light. Thank you for saying that on YouTube. Stephen and Sharon, watch the drone coverage from the USA media channels. They say 3 million, probably more. And then he says, ... discuss. There's definitely, I mean, I'm not going to get into an argument. I'm saying at least 1 million, right? But if you could prove to me it's many, many more than that, I wouldn't argue. But to think there was only 150,000, absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish. That's like when they leave Wembley after Coldplay have played. The people who haven't fallen asleep. Sorry. Where are we going next? Ben Habib and Advance UK says, God is love and light. What do you mean by that? What, you think he'll be the next Prime Minister? Dream on. Why didn't Tommy invite you, says Winston? I don't know. I haven't spoken to him in a good few years. Don't forget I was ill for 2 years. I would like to interview him again. Last time I interviewed him was just before he got sent to jail. And I told him to watch himself because I said, you are breaking your bail conditions and they will have you for contempt. I'm not saying he had to listen to me. I'm just telling you what happened. Terry Burton, that's a waste of a text. Oh, Tommy. You want to sleep with him or something? Jake Morton Brown, my toddler is as British as can be. Offer her a pakora or falafel and it's gone like a kebab to a... Thank you, Jake. That's quite good. Thank you very much indeed. Terry Barton says, now that's a bit of a better comment because we can discuss it. Elon Musk was brilliant. What did you think of the Elon Musk thing? I think he was kind of right about saying there's real trouble coming, but should he be interfering in our politics? I was a bit uncomfortable about that, but I haven't really made up my mind. So what do you think? What do you think about that? 234 now. That's brilliant. 65 likes. Fantastic. But have you ever heard that proverb? It's in the Bible. Man cannot live by likes alone. Man needs a few donations of cups of coffee or cold beers. www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt or press the little $sign. When I was there, I saw Sikhs and Muslims holding Union Jack flags. Well, of course you would have done, Lily. Why not? Why not? They're as British as us. And this is the thing that, I think this is the thing that Starmer would have been watching that on the telly. He'd have had about 15 tellies on in his room, right? And that little Morgan Sweeney guy, whatever his name is, the Sweeney, get your trousers on your neck. I used to love that program. I bumped into John Thor once in Harley Street. Looking back at it, it was obviously when he started being ill because he died of cancer, didn't he? I bumped into him, literally bumped into him. I went, oh, I'm sorry. And I looked up. It's Jack Regan. It's Morse. It's all of those things, right? All of your heroes. I went, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Thor, Mr. Morse. I didn't know what to call him. He said, that's all right, mate. Don't worry. What are you doing? I said, I was looking at my phone. Was I looking at my phone? I don't even know if we had phones in those days. It's when I was working at BBC London. I used to tell that story. And I thought, oh, that's a great story. Until my mate Lawrence said, oh, I've just been directing him at the RSC or somewhere. Because he was a theatre director. So he beat my story. August Moore, well done, Tommy. Thank you. Jane Irwin, don't think the loony left were watching the same as us. There are at least 3 million there, says Jane on Facebook. Thank you for that, Jane. Where are we going next? Mick Frinton-on-Sea. Andy Berman wants Starmer job. He will find a safe seat next May. Well, you see, I was saying that last week, and so I partly agree with you, but I've been thinking about it more. There aren't any safe seats, are there? In that red wall, the turn to reform has been huge. So I'm not sure Burnham necessarily would get it. I'm not anti Andy Burnham. I mean, I think he'd probably do a better job than Starmer. Mind you, that said, our cat could do a better job than Starmer. Huh? Ooh, Betty, he's done a whoopsie. Starmer's just useless, isn't he? Come on, you know he is. You know he's completely useless. What's this say? Fluker Tony has just donated a $5 on YouTube. Thank you very, very much indeed. I really, really appreciate that, Fluker. And I think you're a new person. I haven't heard from you before. By the way, if you are a new person and you've just started watching today, I'm going to do this in the future. I used to do it when I used the phones. If you just started, say, I'm a first timer, yeah, or I'm a virgin. And it's good to know. It's good to know that we're building the audience. So Fluker Tony, thank you very much indeed. Where are we going next? Hi, John. I totally agree with you about Starmer. And John, if things were as bad as the mainstream media said, I don't think Ben Habib would have been there. Elon was awesome. Keep up your fantastic work. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sure there's lots of different opinions about Elon Musk. That's one guy I'd love to meet. Not even interview, just like to meet him. Because I think he's of course he's interested. He's got the brain of about 15 universes. I think it'd be really fascinating to meet. I really do. From where I was waiting, it took around 45 minutes from the march starting before my area got moving, John. I got to Westminster Bridge and everyone got turned around as Whitehall was full, precisely. And that's why claims of 150,000, no matter where we finish up as a figure, we all agree it was many, many more than 150,000. Can Starmer survive? Do you think Starmer is lying about when he knew about just how close Peter Yum Yum, what's he referring to? Yum Yum for his Christmas gifts. Yum Yum, they were lovely. Yum Yum. Surely he wasn't sending Ferrero Rocher chocolates for the ambassador. He might have been, because he's the ambassador from the ambassador. It stinks, doesn't it? Absolutely stinks. If he's misled Parliament, it's curtains, let me tell you. There must have been 100,000 on Westminster Bridge that were turned around and people are still arriving all the way back to Waterloo. Exactly. I mean, I used to work Stamford Street. That's where Talk Sport used to be when I used to go down. Where ITV on the embankment there as well, isn't it? Or they were. So it's just bullshit, this. It's just absolute rubbish. Even I know there were more than that. Well said, John, says Craig. Thank you very much. Craig McKenzie. Labour have literally no choice but to oust Starmer, or they're finished too. I think it's too late, mate. I think they're finished anyway. But Craig, thank you very much indeed for your comment. I'm looking at your avatar, actually. You've got a grey beard and a... Oh, it's just slightly darker, your moustache. I thought when I first looked at you looked like Sam Allardyce. Anyway, Caroline Hobday, she's an old fan. Which flag was he picking on? Did he look carefully enough? And also, all British citizens that all British citizens were on that march. Well said, Caroline. There were Scottish flags, there were Irish, Northern Irish, and indeed the Republic of Ireland flags there. They were all there. I thought it was amazing there were so many Scottish flags. Lots of Scots must have come down. They haven't had as much fun since they came down for the England-Scotland match and nicked our goalposts when I was a lad. Do you remember that in the 70s? They nicked the fucking goalposts. You got to admire them. Starmer looked like Billy No Mates at Arsenal yesterday. Yeah, I saw that picture. There's nothing he can do now. See, the problem is, when you get into that downward cycle of people hating you, it's very hard to get out of, isn't it? We've seen that with lots of, media people. What do you mean? Not me. He really is sounding like an 80s Soviet director. It's spooky, says Craig. Well, I think I might rename you, Craig. Sam. Sam Allardyce there. May Bernard says, thank you. What were you thanking me for? I'm only having my say and you're having your say. Leanne Murray is an absolute disgrace. How are the Labour Party putting up with this blooming bell end? That's a bell. I wonder what it said. There's a picture of a bell if you're listening on a podcast, so you're not actually seeing the visuals. She's put a picture of a bell and an end. Idiot in capitals. I like that. Well done, my friend. Carl Galvin, you're a bit late today. I was there yesterday, Gaunty. Amazing atmosphere with lovely, intelligent people. 25 arrests. There were 400 at the Notting Hill Carnival. Yeah, but the Notting Hill Carnival, to be fair, was over 2 or 3 days. But even 400, that's not a lot. This government, I tell you what this is about. If they can convince people there was 150 there, excuse me, got hiccups, 150,000, they can then start saying, we can ban mass protests. If you read, when you finish the programme, go and have a read of what he said today. It's not an interview, it's on the internet. He's still under his stone. I don't know how he types under there. And he's been saying, abuse of the flag. It's not your effing flag, Starmer. It's everyone's flag. And I didn't see any of that yesterday. I did see some of the violence, and today there's been some more video of that. And I absolutely condemn it, right? But I'd also like to know the facts. See, because unlike you, Starmer, when Southport erupted, I wanted to know why people were protesting. You just wanted to jump back in your Range Rover and get to a party in London. Do you remember that? Then you called everyone far right. You're no leader. Just go, man. Just go. Do yourself a favour. Where are we now? Glyn Hopkins, Starmer is toast. What an idiot. Correct. Glyn, thank you. Where are we next? What's going to change? Says K-Man. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you how many pieces of toilet roll to use? What's going to change is the British public are going to have their say. They know exactly how many were there, John. It's too embarrassing to show, says the football manager, Craig. Who's this next? K-Man, Labour don't care. Could have been 5 million. Nothing will change. Oh, look, Kay, look, maybe you're new because you haven't got an avatar. What I'll say to you, Kay, you don't get anywhere being as negative as you. Try and be a bit more positive. That's what yesterday was about. Millions of people saying, we ain't doing this anymore. We've had enough of you, Starmer. Right? So you get a bit of positivity before you come back on here. Where are we now? John, I got up to Westminster Bridge. I didn't see one at UTK Marshall. I was surprised by that. Quite a few police, but no marshals. What? Didn't have them all the way along the way? I don't know the answer to that question. Fluker Tony, Starmer's got to go, but he won't go easy. They'll have to drag him out, kicking and screaming. I think you're right, actually. I think you're right. I think he needs one of those new jackets. Have you seen them? Really nice. They only come in white, khaki, but the arms tie around the back. He needs one of those jackets, I think. John, I think Starmer is the sort of lawyer that no, that could allegedly be corrupt. Well, that's just nonsense, isn't it? You've got no evidence for that. You obviously just want him to prosecute you. Don't be silly. Don't just be silly. John Gaunt is the new legend following the sad death of James Whale. I like that up until that point, up until the bit when you talk about James. It is sad that he's gone. It's very, very sad. Sad for his family, sad for his wife, etc., etc. But me and James Whale were completely different people. He managed to always get his job back. He got the sack more times than me, but somehow he always got back in. I don't know. Hey, such is life. Ho, ho, ho. John Gaunt. Is that meant to be a chant, Winston? Why aren't you on stage? You've got a lot of friends that you don't know about. Thank you, Winston. I think there's one leaving in 10 minutes. Is that the kind of oh no, you mean like a theatre stand? Winston, I don't know, mate. One day somebody will give me a job, but for the moment, I've got to keep begging for coffee. www.buymeacoffee.com. I'm working my balls off here, and we've had one contribution, one donation, one. I'm going to stop in a minute anyway, because it's you've had 49, nearly 50 minutes. Have you noticed I do this without a script as well? All Starmer really wanted was Prime Minister on his CV. He's got it now, so he can move on, says Warwick Milne. I love your style, Warwick. I love your style. I have a photo with the Irish flag and my Union flag in 56 years. I've never seen that anywhere. It was beautiful. Unity, says Craig Mackenzie. Thank you, Craig. If Musk is right, who cares where he comes from? Yeah, I know that. But I just said it left a little bit of a taste in my mouth. Because he's American. He's got enough things to do over there. I don't think he should be directly getting involved in our politics. It was so funny today, though, watching, apart from Camilla, watching those political programs. They're still acting as if what's happening with Tommy Robinson and Nigel Farage and reform is just like a flash in the pan. It'll be over soon. And then we'll all go back to our nice, cozy way of living. Yeah? I don't think so. There's been a massive change. The people are revolted in every sense of the word. Fluker, Tony, oh, that's you, mate. You gave the donation earlier. Thank you very much indeed. AR5, thank you very much indeed. If Starmer said tomorrow was Monday, I'd think he was lying. That's clever. I like that. I see Zara Sultana. This is Lisa Carville. She's from Coventry, one of my oldest fans. Raised her concerns about fascists. No problem supporting terrorists, though. Yeah, I saw that today. Thing is with Zara Sultana, she's the MP for Fossil and Gaza. Fosil's an area of Coventry, a little bit closer to the UK than Gaza, but she's such a militant, isn't she? She's hardly worth bothering with. So, you know, I sometimes want to put her down, then I think, it's not on, John. Leave her. Stupid lefty, right? I don't know why Corbyn's, well, I do know why Corbyn's got involved with it, but it's silly. 80 likes. Oh, you're going to get to 100. That's the question. Didn't Starmer send a mob of Labour MPs to speak against Trump? So Musk is entitled to speak on behalf of true Brits. Yeah, he did actually. Well, I don't think he did it directly, but a load of Labour people went over and campaigned for Joe Biden. That's probably why he lost so badly, but it's true. But I don't really like this. Well, if you did this, then I'm doing that. You know what I mean, Paul? It's a bit, playgroundy, isn't it? I don't know. Anyway, Abby Smith. This is my second time posting. Oh, you're not a virgin. That's good. I don't know if you remember me. I do. You made some very good comments the other day. But the other day, I said the legacy media would go on to full attack. You did. I remember that as well. I knew this because I followed Tommy for 15 years, just after he left the EDL. I've seen them use every tactic in the book to crush him and his followers. They haven't learnt anything over the years. It only makes us stronger. That's a very good point. Censorship, that's what it does. If you try and ban something, it's worse. That's why you've got to be careful. This hate speech nonsense. It just goes underground. It just goes behind closed curtains, closed doors, and then it gets worse. That's why it's always best to have a bloody row, isn't it? And that's how I've spent the last 30 years of my life. Don't like it? Well, you might like the next thing I say. I don't want you necessarily to agree with everything I say. When I used to be on BBC London, the boss used to get a little easy git. He'd get in about 10 o'clock, right? And he'd say, oh, we've had another complaint. I'll be on air still, just finishing off, saving his radio station for him, getting him an audience. And then he'd say, we've had another complaint. I said, oh, that's good. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, that means they're listening and they're reacting. No. He said, I've got to ring up. You said this, you said that. I said, I don't think I did. But he said, well, we can always listen to a click track. I said, go on then, go and get a tape and do whatever you want to do. So then he'd phone her, and that was his next tactic. He'd phone her, right? And then I could hear in the background, right? What's that? She was still listening to the radio station. So then I whispered to him and say, ask her what time she turned off today. So what time did he turn off? Oh, when he finished. Oh, right. Ask her what time I said this offensive thing that's upset her. 8 o'clock, or I don't know, hours earlier. She was still listening. It's like, who cares? And then some people say, I'm never listening to you again, Gaunty, because you said this about so-and-so. Grow up. Just grow up. If I wanted you to agree with everything I said, and if you think I get bothered about you saying, I'm never going to listen again, I've been in this business so long, I know you listen again because you can't help yourself. And that's why you can never, in this job, say what you think the audience want to hear. You can only say what you believe. What's this? Gifted one John Gaunt TV membership. What's that mean? Oh, you've joined my YouTube thing. Thank you. That's 99p a day. That's not a day, a month or so. I don't know what it is. I don't look into it that much. Oh, yeah, this is a Jackie. I'm glad you've made this point because I did scroll this down earlier to talk about and I forgot. Last night at proms, the lady who sang Rule Britannia wore a Union flag dress. I got to thinking if they don't want us flying the flag, perhaps we should all wear it instead. Good point. And I see the little girl who got banned from the school. She spoke at the rally, didn't she? Yeah. Although I did see at the proms, there was a lot of European Union flags. 83 likes now. Are we going to get to 100? 528 arrests, 2 stabbings, 11 guns to be seized, over 40 knives to be seized. Oh, no, wait, that was Notting Hill Carnival, which they described as vibrant. But yeah. You know what I mean? Let's not compare one to the other. Both great events. Both relatively trouble-free. Don't play their game, is what I'm saying. Luca Tony, I'm Gaunt, I'm new to YouTube, but I've followed you since BBC WM days. Thank you very much, mate. We had some good times on WM. Some real good times. Let me tell you, great radio show, especially on Saturday, the football thing. Starmer is going to double down now. I can see many arrests in the future. Well, he said that today. He said today in this little thing, we're going to search down the people. Do you remember when he did the Billy Big Bollocks last time, Abby? I'm going to get all these far-right thugs. And then what happened? Britain erupted in violence. When he could have just said, look, we know who it is. Da-da-da-da. He's not a new arrival. He's not a migrant. Leave it to us. We'll sort it out. And by the way, this will never happen again because I'm your Prime Minister. He don't do empathy, though, does he? Or sympathy. It's just a dickhead. Where are we now? Does the Labour Party use the sickle and hammer as their symbol yet? Communists were more logical. Richard Gaunty, you did a tour about 20 years ago in your Talk Sport days. I did, actually, yeah. I did 2, actually. The first one was very successful because I was still on Talk. The second one wasn't so successful because I didn't have a regular show. So if you're suggesting I should do it again, no. Unless you want to fund it. I'm just not that popular anymore. That's the problem. That wouldn't happen. Pam Millett, that listener is very childish. Leave the UK, says Kirsty Chan. Oh, love the UK. Thailand stands with you. So I didn't read that right. So Kirsty Chen, who's obviously living in Thailand, love the UK. Thailand stands with you. Well, I stand with Thailand. I love Thailand. I've got a best mate lives over there at the moment. He keeps saying, come over, but I can't afford it at the moment. But the moment I get any real cash, get a job. Do you think I could get a job before I retire? Because, mind you, I'm 64. 65 is when you're meant to retire. I can't afford to retire. But anyway, if I did, I'd go and see him. I loved it when I went last time. I really loved it. It's a close thing between India and Thailand, to which I prefer. But I like both of them. That's the one thing, being skint, that I've really missed, travelling. Not necessarily turning left and going into first class, which obviously is nice. But even if I went in economy now, I miss the travelling. I love that. You know, when you get off a plane and there's different smells and different culture and different noises and different sights, and especially in India and in Thailand, the colour is the big thing that gets you there. The big thing. Anyway, who's this from? Steve. Gaunty, I love you. Just donated a £5. Thank you very, very much indeed, Steve. I love your opinions, but not as much as Super Leeds United. Here's a £5 anyway. How you doing? Huh? How's your team doing? Ours is doing all right. We got a draw yesterday. Evidently, we were all over them. I didn't listen. I didn't go up, but because I was watching the London thing, the demo. But they were the better team by a mile, but they just couldn't get it in the back of the net. I'm growing to really like Frank Lampard, because I saw him on YouTube later, and he was saying, well, we played really well. I'm really proud of the lads. It's just one of those days in football, the ball doesn't go in the net. And he said, but we played right to the end. And he's right, because Hadji Wright scored just towards the end, I think actually in extra time. This team now is really playing to win. It's great to see, and it's given the whole city a boost. That's what sport does, isn't it? Anyway, I agree, Musical Man. I agree with about 80% of what you say, Gaunty. I forgive the 20% you're wrong about. Well, that's all right. But I'm not looking for your forgiveness. That's Robbie Williams, isn't it? What is it? I'm loving angels instead. Is that one, isn't it? I don't know. We'll find out. Global Health Lab has just given me a smiling emoji and some claps. That's good. How about giving me a $5 now? Craig McKenzie just donated, mate. Keep up the good work. Drop a $5, guys. Thank you, Craig. You hope you don't mind me calling you Sam Allardyce. You don't half look like him. You don't half look like him with that beard. Anyway, Preston journalists should start doing interviews to boost your channel, mate. Shorts help as well, instead of just lives. Well, you've obviously not looked, Preston. Thank you for your advice, number one. Number two, I do interviews. I did a few last week, not last week, 2 weeks ago. I'm doing some more, but I don't want to do them during my live show. My live show is something special, because I don't know about you. I don't know what kind of journalist you are, but I find that not many people can do what I do. I just sit down and talk, and I've just been talking today for an hour, right? Just prompted by people's comments. I think that's a particular skill, and I like it. I like interviewing as well, and I'm pretty good at that as well. But as for the shorts, I got a mate called AI. I never met him, but he helps out, and he clips all of these shows into like 10 little bits. And you're right, shorts really do help. They really do help, because some people only want 30 seconds of me. My wife says that's 29 seconds too many, but there we are. It's normally more than I last. Anyway, that's life. That's life. Somebody's been asking me to do 10-minute videos, but see, I said no, because I'll be disciplined enough to think that's enough now, John. But it is enough now. I'm going. But Preston, thank you very much indeed. I shall sort of have a look at if you're on YouTube. Where am I going next? I've always wondered why yellow is such a popular color in South America and Mexico. Oh, you mean the colors of the country? Yeah. I don't know. John, could you get Nigel or Tommy on a live? I could try. Maybe TFL can release figures of yesterday's activities in central London. Oh, yeah. They're bound to do that, aren't they? Sorry, Richard. I'm just pulling your leg. Compared to a normal Saturday, this may help explain the true attendance. That's a very good point, but I don't think they will. All right, that's me done. Thank you very much. 85 likes. That is brilliant. Hundreds of people watching today. Maybe it was millions. Maybe I should get Tommy to count how many people are watching and hype myself up. On that note, I've just got to say, by the way, I was telling you last week I hit 800,000 views or whatever it is. It's now, I think it's over 850,000, right, views. I'm trying to get to 1 million by the end of this month, which I think I could probably do. So keep telling everyone about it. That's the best thing you can do to help me. Tell all your mates that Gaunty's back, and he's on John Gaunt YouTube, he's on Facebook, he's on Twitter, and he's still as argumentative as ever. Whatever you want to say. It was crap, he's brilliant, whatever you want to say. And the other way you can help me is by joining my YouTube channel. It's called subscribe. You just click onto John Gaunt TV on YouTube, and it will say to you, do you want to subscribe? Say yes. It doesn't cost anything. And all that means is that you get, it's like an electronic mailing list, right? So you get a note every time I'm going to do a show, which is useful because then you don't miss any. Plus, you can see all the archive there, all the videos and all the podcasts, and you can download them. You can get everything you want there. So one-stop shop. So have a look at that for me if you can. But of course, if you can contribute, that really helps. It really helps. If you can whack in a $5 on www. or more if you got more. What was it? www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. When you go there, you can either offer a coffee or a beer. Minimum donations are $5 on that one. But if you want to donate a little bit less, you can do it directly through YouTube, or a little bit more, you can do it through YouTube as well. So there we go. I'll subscribe, mate, as the Shed Singer, but it's me, lol. I should check that out. Thank you. What we got next? Come on, people, help John, says Abby. Thank you, Abby, darling. And Jackie Ward's giving me 3 love hearts. Right, I'm off now. That's good, isn't it? 1 hour and 5 minutes. I don't think I speak to my wife that much in a week. So thanks anyway for watching. Thanks for helping me make it a success. We're not there yet. We're not making any money. I did the accounts the other day. But we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. And we will get there. And then the mainstream will have to offer going to your job again. Anyway, if you've got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Don't forget to tell them you love them. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30. All the best. Bye.